If you don't want to hear me talk or just want to hear the important parts, skip to these parts in the videos or just use the chapters. I get it, I'm boring, go on. Hello, I'm Vince. I made the shows T-Core War and Battle for X, and numerous others, but they're irrelevant. I assume you clicked on this video because you read the title. In that case, I'll just jump to the case. I'm looking for animators and graphic designers for both Battle for X and T-Core War. In the past, I used to be the sole graphic designer and nearly the only animator, only sometimes bringing on friends here and there. This has been how the show has run since 2021. However, in 2025, I decided I wanted to up the quality of the shows. Before, I would simply use JSFL commands to do most of the animation for me, and I kept graphics simplistic. Starting in 2025, I started manually doing all the animation myself without using the commands at all, which has improved the visual quality significantly. And the graphics have gotten a bit better. And with that, the shows went from monthly or bi-monthly to, like, yearly. And what doesn't help is that I began to get more priorities in life, such as actual work or socialization. I don't like this, so I intend to fix this. I'm looking for people who are willing to help with both animation and graphic designing for the shows. Hopefully, more people on the team will help bring the frequency back and we'll be able to finish episodes much faster. Graphics and animation are both done in Adobe Animate, all production is done within Discord, and most importantly, this is not a paid position. I do not have the means to pay myself, and the shows aren't nearly popular enough to self-fund, not even the bare minimum. These could change in the future, but for now, these are remaining passion projects. Now, here's exactly what I'm looking for. For animators, I'm looking for people who can finish about a 30-second scene within a 2-week deadline. Of course, extensions can be granted if need be. Lengths for scenes do vary from much shorter to much longer. If you want a more exact animation guide, go to this part of the video. For graphic designers, I'm looking for people who are willing to make a few props or backgrounds per episode. This could be about one background or one prop, or a few. Up to you. I'd also give these a 2-week deadline with extensions available again. Backgrounds do have a tendency to be rather simple, but I do want some of them to be a bit more complex, as you might have seen as of late. Same goes with props. On the note of props, since this is an object show, props can extend onto other things such as character bodies or logos, maybe even visual effects. I say if you can make a good prop, usually you can make a good character body as well. Also, big note, props usually don't have outlines whereas bodies do. I still plan to be the lead graphic designer for the shows, but having a few people willing to help would be awesome. Now, to talk about the animation style of the shows. This is on its own part because there is a lot to go over. Most characters follow a simple recoil-esque animation style. Ease-ins and ease-outs happen a lot. While the style is simple, that doesn't mean you should limit yourself, as more expressive movement can help a lot. Rewatching T-Core 5C could help as that's a prime example of what I wanted. A big point of the episode is I kinda wanted to be an example of what I'm looking for in the future. For outside references, if that doesn't help, I'd say the best references are things such as mid-revival BFJA, especially episodes 12 to 17. You can see a lot of it uses pretty simple recoil, but also it does get a bit more expressive here and there. And while the style changes a little bit, it's usually pretty much the same. Now to address the elephants in the room. The amiibos, humans, and characters like them, a lot of their movement is still the same, simple ease-ins and ease-outs. However, you may notice they're a bit more complex. The most important things are the limbs, which are custom lines. With this, you can pretty much bend these limbs however you see fit, and use shape tweens to move them. They don't need to be animated much differently compared to other characters, but at least getting an idea of how to use these rigs could help a lot. And now for the other characters with unique animation styles, such as Beta Clock, who is roughly animated in just 2 frames, with the middle frame being used to ease into the next pose. Sometimes blurs and smears I made, and they look really not good, but that's the point. Luna, for example, does not have a rig, and she's redrawn every frame, but you can make your own rig if you really want. Kirby Dog's face is redrawn every time, except for the mouth. Tape's mouth is animated like Donut BFDI. Webcam just reuses animation from Object Illusion and things like it. You get the idea. One more thing, you can also audition for multiple positions, though there is the chance you only get hired for one position. For example, you can audition for both animation and graphics, but you might only get hired for graphics. I'm not extremely picky on the animation style. Even in the base show, the animation can vary from scene to scene, but the general style is primarily the same. Basic recoil, and that's it. I'm not looking for the best animation ever. Simple and fast animation is perfectly fine. What I'm most looking for are people who I can trust to reliably finish and still fit in well, and that you don't entirely mess things up. If you want to audition, go fill out the Google form in the description, where I'll ask a few questions like your name, portfolio work, and your social media and references, if available. What I'd probably be looking for most in your portfolio work are scenes you've done for other people's shows, and things you've done for yourself to show off your capabilities. Probably one of the most important things to me is you being able to finish things on time and that you won't consistently drop things. Like, please don't do just 3 seconds of animation then drop the scene because you don't want to do the rest. This has happened a lot. I do want to say, despite the references to other shows that you bring, it could still be kind of hard to tell your capabilities abilities with the actual show's style. For this, I recommend downloading the 2022 T-Core War assets, linked below, and making an audition with those, replicating the style with whatever audio you'd like. It doesn't matter. I will be doing my own background checks on people and having friends help with them as well. I want to make sure the people who I hire can not only match the styles, but are also reliable and trustable with deadlines and not leaking information. The most important part of being on the crew is communication and transparency. If I can't trust you to be honest with me and reliable, then you probably aren't getting in. I will only be contacting those who do get in, so if you don't get contacted, you probably didn't get hired. And if this does happen, please do not take it personally. Not getting hired doesn't mean I don't like you or that I think you don't have talent. I'm simply looking for people who I know I can work with and I can match the style of the shows, and I need to make absolute sure I can trust people I hire. I have a very hard time with trusting people, I'm not gonna lie. Worst case scenario, you don't get in. I still encourage you to try again in the future. There will definitely be more chances as time goes on. I don't have an exact plan to close auditions anytime soon, but I will probably be doing my first major hire within 2 weeks of this video's release. If you have any more questions, feel free to contact me on Discord, Share Waters. I'll try my best to respond, though I have a pretty bad history of forgetting to respond DMs, I'm not gonna lie. I wish you all luck on auditioning, and I'm very excited to see what you guys make. Here's to hoping we can make the shows become more frequent in the future and look even better. Thank you, and goodbye.